Hello there. Today I want to present a major issue that I have with Critical Forces development to you, that is present in every department of development in some way, shape or form. For this, please note that I'm not hating on the devs and neither should you. All I'm doing here is nicely asking for change and requesting increased transparency in all departments. Yes, there is already a trend in that direction, but it's not reasoned by learning from past mistakes, but much rather single individuals pushing for it. The issue that I see is that there's no real red line in the creative choices of the last few years. If one was to pinpoint the red line in development of, let's say, FIFA, you would say re-releasing slightly altered pay-to-win games annually for maximum profit. If one was to pinpoint the red line in the development of, let's say, CSGO, you would say a consistently low output in content, but in exchange, the most integral, skill-based and active competitive scene. Let's look at CEOs.
Gentlemen, a short view back to the past.
All of us remember this truck on Grounded's tower, right? In 2018, there used to be three things different about it. The angle at which it was standing, whether you get on top of it or not, and two minor differences on the model. It was not fully possible to get on top of the old truck except for a tiny spot on the outside mirror which gave you an angle like this at below. It was rarely used for multiple reasons. It was hard to get on. You had to jump from a little mound of snow next to the tower to a few pixels above the tire and slide along the hood of the truck to finally stand on the mirror. If you thought that this jump here was inconsistent and hard to do, then you have no idea. This was probably the major reason why it was underutilized, but there are a few more. Contrary to your expectation, it was pretty easy to counter actually. You couldn't see all of Belong from there, so people would probably bounce a cross smoke off the wall and either double nade the spot or flash it from deep Belong, because it wasn't really possible to stand on top of that while dodging a flash, because it was pretty hard to pinpoint whether it would land in front of you or behind you, because you had no vision of the spot where it was thrown from. Therefore, you had no real way of knowing when it will pop, just from seeing it fly towards you alone. And even without a properly coordinated side tech, you could easily counter the spot by simple pre-aim. There was no wiggle room on top of that, and knowing the angle, the player standing there could either crouch and survive, but not do much to prevent you from taking the side, or stand up and die instantly. This seems like a perfect addition to the map of Grounded, considering B is hard to hold and even harder to retake without early rotates and the spot itself on it. Well, the spot was removed a few weeks after discovery for being too powerful. This seems like a joke looking at how the truck works today, but it gets even funnier. Let's compare the facts for the old truck with the new one. The old one has one angle, you can easily pre-aim, it requires skill to get onto in the first place, you can counter it easily by pre-aim or utility usage, because you can't avoid either of them, and have to choose between staying on there, which is high risk, high reward, or playing safe and getting off it. This is something that often has to be decided on a round-to-round basis, and it needs an incredible amount of game sense to make the right decision every time. Something you should also consider is that the spot was never playable on the new models and crouch animations. This means that the vertical distance covered between standing and crouching is halved compared to today, while still taking the same amount of time. This means that crouch spamming or pre-firing the angles by abusing ping or frame rate is less effective and arguably impossible. This also means that the spot is not a luck-based element and that abusing the game or spending more money on a device does not give you any additional advantage. Now let's look at how the truck is used today. You can stand on the entirety of the truck, which allows for countless different angles. It is incredibly easy to jump up there, so everyone can utilize the spot to its full potential. Pre-aim is no effective way of countering the angle consistently, as the flick aim required to quickly adjust is exclusively possible to do consistently on 120 FPS. Utility usage is not an option for the most part either, as the different angle of the new truck allows you to see where the nades originate from. Therefore, you can easily dodge flashes and see nades early enough to simply jump off and save yourself from the nade damage by running into the tower. There's no risk involved with using the spot, as you are fully covered while crouching on it, and if you choose to leave the angle, you are covered by the new bigger truck model and perfectly hidden from sight and mid as well as below. No risk means that no game sense or decision making is required to use it properly, as you stay on there for as long as you can to deal as much damage as you can, then jump off and continue the retake or side defense as usual. Something you should also consider is that the spot was part of a minor map rework of Grounded that has never been played on with the old player models and animations. The new crouch allows you to cover a lot of vertical distance in a very short amount of time while not being perfectly synchronized for everyone, which means that the spot is a luck-based element and can be abused with ping or frame rate. Now, putting those side by side, it's clear why one of the two was purposefully designed by the devs and the other one got patched within a few weeks of discovery for being too powerful. So clearly this was the one that was too powerful. Also, the spots removal is still the fastest patch of anything in the map design department to this day, which is a joke, considering that we have this for about 2.5 years now. Thanks for your attention.